Last time on Knights of the Rolled Table, with their rowboat destroyed, our heroes are stranded on the island until two ships appear and offer them safe passage. Both are pirate vessels but have very different crews. The knights choose to board with Captain Honeymist and are recruited to raid Captain Dropoff's treasure trove. But on the high seas, things don't always go according to plan.
All right, so initiative is rolled. And one of the figures is going to go first. That's the figure that stood and moved toward the wall. And gravely, as you see this figure stand and move, you can tell you recognize kind of partly recognize and partly you kind of recognize the movement. And you're pretty sure, at least maybe 70 to 80% sure, that it's Bashir. From Dread X.
Oh, no.
Not this jerk again.
And what Bashir does is he runs over and he pulls a line, which unravels, and a bunch of rigging starts to, roll through itself up in the cavern, and that sail up above your head starts to drop. And it's starting to fall down, which will eventually, cover you over the water in a few seconds, but that won't happen this turn. So you see that happening, and you definitely notice the sail up there beginning to drop, and it's Tiberon's turn.
How far away are they?
You don't know. You can't see a thing. They were before the lights went out.
Yeah, before the lights went out, roughly.
You're about 15 feet from shore, and they're probably 10. The table that they turned over is about 10 feet beyond that.
Okay, and then elevation-wise, it's something we could get to?
They are actually elevated a little bit, but there's a net hung down to basically be able to grab on and climb. So you could get up and grab rigging, which you'd be very familiar with climbing as a pirate. So you could get up there.
Okay, great. And they haven't actually spotted us yet, right?
No.
Okay, great. All right, I am going to indeed climb up that rigging.
All right, so you swim up, climb the rigging. Between swimming and climbing, I don't want to do all the math, but I'll say you get about 2 there, and that's as far as you can get on a turn, and you're kind of your head is at floor level, so you're still a little bit hidden. It's as far as you can get on your turn.
Okay.
And Maya.
Okay, so I'm going to cast Fairy Fire on that area near the table.
Ooh. So they're all going to light up.
They have to make a dex save.
The table's going to light up. Various things around there is going to light up, and they are going to make dex saves of one of them's for sure going to fail. They just fail. Both of them fail.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a 20-foot cube, so the other guy's not within that 20-foot.
If you angle it off to the side to try to catch Bashir, then sure, I'll say yes.
Okay. Yeah, so they're all...
So he's got to make a dex save too then.
Yeah.
He also fails. They're all light up. What color?
They're bright purple.
Oh, they're bright purple. Lovely lavender. They are definitely now highly concerned as they light up in lavender hues after all the lights go out.
And then Maya's going to swim to shore and try to make it at least to shore, but she's going to stay kind of right on the shoreline. She just wants to get out from underneath that thing that's about to come down. Okay,
you can get out about the same distance as, let's see. So you wouldn't get as far because if Tiberon couldn't get within melee range, you probably would have dashed on your action. So he gets a fair bit farther up to them than Maya does. You kind of get to the bottom of the rigging.
She just wants to get out from under the thing.
So you get to the edge of the water. It should be. All right, Soot.
Soot is terrified of being drowned, so he is just going to use his action to swim as fast as little arms can carry him to the shore. I think I only have a movement of 20. Oh, no, I have 30 because I'm a quick little guy. So swim speed of 15. So I'm going to use my action and my my movement to swim as fast as I can. So a total of 30 feet to the edge. And
yeah, so you can make it and probably a little bit up the rigging.
Okay. So I am hopefully safe, and that's it. That's all I'm going to do.
Okay, that brings us to the guards who can't see much, are lit up purple.
It's a really lovely shade.
They're probably, I think they're going to just like fire out into the water with disadvantage with their crossbows. One definitely misses. And the other one.
We're just saying.
Yeah. So crossbows are hitting, crossbow bolts are hitting the water nearby, but none of them hit. And that will take us to Gravely.
All right. Well, having seen Bashir, and that's who I cast True Strike on, because even though I didn't know it was him specifically.
You had a sense. Yeah, I'll give you that. He stood up.
Here's
so he
why.
would be
Is
easiest to
because
hit.
I have a favorite enemy, and one of them is Knowles, as we know from Season 1. The other one is Drow.
I wonder why. I wonder why he would have picked that with his boy
And
Bashir.
knowing that, I sensed something drowish. And so I'm going to cast... I already have advantage on the roll, but I'm going to cast Hunter's Mark as a bonus action.
So Pass Without Trace
So I
goes
raise you,
down.
Hunter's Mark.
Hunter's Mark on Bashir.
And I'm going to use my movement to swim 15 feet close to the shore, try to get a better angle, and I'm going to shoot him twice.
So you are still in the water.
Yeah.
Shooting uphill. I'm going to say those are both at disadvantage because I feel like it'd be hard to shoot a bow while treading water, even for Gravely.
So it's just a straight roll.
Yeah.
True Strike is advantage. Okay.
I guess the first one. True Strike is for one shot.
For the first shot.
Yeah.
All right. First shot is 21.
Hit.
So that's 12 damage. And then second at disadvantage.
Yeah.
It's a nat 20 and a 1.
Oh, the ultimate disadvantage.
So,
Take that crit.
So an 11.
Throw it in the garbage because it doesn't count.
So an 11.
That one will miss.
All right.
So Bashir, it's definitely Bashir, lit up purple. Definitely takes one arrow right in the shoulder.
Oh, wait. Hold on.
Yeah.
But since he has fairy fire on him,
Yeah, he gets
doesn't
advantage.
get advantage,
It
so then I would
cancels
just...
But then it's
out.
also dark vision. It's dark, and you're
Dark
double
vision,
disadvantage.
treading water, fairy fire, true strike, evens out.
So
We'll call
it's
it
still
there.
disadvantage.
All right.
I love playing these games.
Hey, remember when I let you shoot a arrow over your shoulder at a basilisk just because you've been practicing? Here we go. All right, so that's Gravely hits Bashir once. And at that point, Sindel is still in the water, hasn't gone yet. You hear her say like, "I'll take care of these," and she is abruptly yanked under the water
Oh no, Sindel!
because there's something else out there. You deduce from that. So Sindel disappears. And
How far am I from the land?
you swam off to the closer to where Bashir was along the wall. Yeah, you're probably 5 feet from the land.
Okay.
And that will take us back to Bashir, who just got shot with an arrow and is not having this. So he grabs onto another line and with his sword cuts a third line, and that releases a counterweight that drops down. And basically this line that he's holding on to just yanks him up towards the ceiling.
Yo-ho.
Yeah, more rigging up there is
How
spinning
very Errol
around
Flynn of him.
as we go. So he yanks 30 feet up there and lands on some sort of there's a step, a ledge that he lands on, and he disappears back there. At least for now, you don't see any of the purple light. If he was standing right there, you'd still see a little bit of purple glowing, but you see that sort of disappear. Back to Tiberon.
So these guys are on fire, right?
They are not actually on fire. Fairy fire is just they're lit up and easier to hit. So you can see exactly where they are. They
Okay,
cannot see
perfect.
you.
Are they still right behind the table?
Yeah. So from where you are, actually definitely down below the table, you probably actually can't see them, but you can kind of see the glow of where they're at.
Got it. Okay. But if I were to leap over the table, I would know exactly where they are.
Yes, you would.
Okay, great.
They'd be in your lap.
I'm going to finish climbing up, jump over the table and unsheath both my, a scimitar and short sword.
All right. You do so. They look very surprised.
Great. So I have...
Uh-oh. Did you just walk into the stinking cloud?
Oh, no. Do I need
Constitution
to make a
save.
All right.
It's so smelly.
+3 on a 12, 15.
Oh, that's the save.
15 makes it. Same thing they rolled.
All right, so like the
It
barf
smells
comes
very
up,
bad.
but it
Swallow
goes
it
right back down.
Swallow it down.
Years of drinking grog has basically rendered your
I've
gag
smelled
reflex.
worse things on a
Yeah.
pirate ship.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and so with are each close enough that they're both within range?
Yep.
Okay.
You're right in between the two of them. They were behind basically like a picnic table. So
Great. So I'm gonna hit one with the scimitar, and I'm gonna hit another with the short sword.
roll some attacks.
So 12 for one attack, and 12 for the other.
So you're one strike at each of them?
Yeah.
Okay, so one hits, one does not hit. So roll damage for that
Okay,
first attack.
Yeah. 5 + 4, 9.
So you cut that dude with your scimitar and he stumbles backwards. The other one struggles. The other one also stumbles backwards, but gets clear of your second strike. And they're both fiddling with crossbows, which is not the ideal weapon for somebody suddenly jumping on top of them with swords.
I have an extra attack.
Yeah.
Can I go ahead and use it?
Yeah,
All right, great. I guess I'll go for the guy I already hit.
do it.
14.
Hit.
Awesome. 5 damage.
All right, he's looking pretty bad. Not pretty bad. He's looking about bloodied. He's bloodied.
All right,
The
great.
technical term. And now it's Maya's turn.
Oh dear. So I can't see where Sindel went down.
You can
there.
see approximately, well, you weren't even facing her, so you heard her kind of call out and then glug over, so you could turn around and know approximately where she was at, but you can't see her.
I'm going to go ahead and use my bonus action, and I'm going to give Gravely Bardic Inspiration. Ooh. So enjoy that.
Well,
and Gravely, you can do this. I believe in you. How far away am I from Bichon?
Bashir, very far, because he just flew up
The little
into the
fish
cavern and disappeared out some sort of a passage. Currently about 10 feet from the other two guys that Tiberon is fighting, and about 10 feet behind you is where Sindel disappeared.
I know what I as the player want to do, but I know what Maya would do. Maya would turn around and start swimming down and do anything that she could to grab Sindel.
To where she was, or down diving?
No, she'd go down.
Okay.
She heard her go down.
So you're going to dive down, roll something. I would say first roll a perception check at disadvantage to see if you...
Well, that's not great. I'm going to go ahead and use my luck feat one more time to re-roll that 4. And that's this 18. So it's a 9 and an 18.
Okay, so you dive down there and your vision is blurry, but you can kind of see where something is struggling with something that you assume to be Sindel. Actually, you can see a little bit of Sindel's lit up a little bit, like she's trying to cast a spell maybe, so you can swim towards that. So that's probably a total of, so you dive down, maybe you dive down 5 feet, make that perception, see where they are. That's still about 10 feet away from you, and you have approximately 10 feet of movement, I would guess, and is swimming movement. And I'll say actually with a pretty high perception roll, you can also see something very vaguely. You can kind of see some movement down towards the bottom of something else.
You know what? Let's get crazy.
Yeah.
It's my girl Sindel.
Let's get crazy.
So I'm going to I'm going to see if
You
I
haven't
can,
had that drink yet. You don't want to lose her
if
without
I
having
can
that drink.
reach her. I'm going to reach her, and then I'm going to cast Thunderstep.
Ooh, dang. All right. What happens with that again? I hate that spell. Oh, it just works?
So you teleport yourself to an unoccupied space you can see within range. Immediately after you disappear, a thunderous boom sounds, and each creature within 10 feet of the space you must make a con saving throw. And then there's damage that goes with that.
Where would you like to go with Thunder?
I want to
Step?
go right on the shore line, where I was before.
All right, I'll give you that.
So everybody within
Constitution
10
save.
feet, they have to make a con save.
Oh, Antonio.
All right, let's roll Constitution saving throws for... Yes, Antonio will be down there.
No. Antonio. 11.
What are we rolling against?
16.
Oh, Antonio fails. Going to take 3d10. So Antonio's going to take 19 damage. And 2 other things will also be hit down there in the water. 3 things wriggle around in the water. One of them's Antonio. And Sindel and Maya appear on the shore. I can't even begin to fathom what it sounds like when a sudden sonic boom happens underwater, but I imagine everybody gets pretty wet. I imagine that creates like a giant splash of like craziness out at everybody. Doesn't cause any damage. Probably also super loud inside a enclosed cavern, but I won't give you any like deafening effects because enough is going on. In other news, that sail is still falling down, so about now that's settling down on the water. I think Gravely's probably right at the edge of it. It might cover him, but you could easily get out from under it. Other people are now would be unable to surface with that sail settling down over most of the water. Antonio doesn't need to breathe. This really turned out to be not at all a problem. So, Soot's turn.
Soot is going to approach where Tiberon is, and I'm going to stay outside of my stinking cloud. I'm going to use my whip. I'm going to whip in there.
You got a whip?
I got
nice.
a whip.
All right.
Because of my background.
Because you're the Indiana Jones of kobolds.
So I'm going to pull out my whip, and I'm going to attempt to whip one of the guys.
Okay, there's one that's taking a fair amount of damage. There's one that is not.
Okay, well then I'll go ahead and, whip the guy that is being attacked.
Whip it good.
Do it.
That's a lot. It's like 20-something.
Hit.
So damage for the whip. 6 damage with that whip. That is literally my entire turn.
Is the stinking cloud something to re-roll a Constitution saving
at the start
throw
of each of their turns if they're still in the cloud.
Oh,
so you're going to have to re-roll it too.
Sounds good.
It's now these guys' turn, so... One of them
Did
crit,
they
one of them
smelt it or did they
not.
dealt it?
The one that has not taken damage is still not damaged, but the other one that's taking a lot of damage is now poisoned.
He's not poisoned. He just spends his entire action retching and reeling.
All right.
Because of the smell.
So the dude just got stabbed twice and then hit with a whip is now throwing up. His friend is fine. His friend is going to, I guess, continue to scramble backwards, and since he's already holding his crossbow, is going to take a shot at Tiberon, and he rolled a 1. So that's not going to work out. I don't think he gets
slips
anything.
on the vomit.
Oh. Ooh.
Yep.
Our most disgusting season ever.
All is well. Gravely's turn.
Right, I'll get out of the water.
Done.
And then what I'd like to do is, seeing where Bashir went, I want to try to find another rigging that has the same kind of rope pulley system and do the same thing he did. Is there any more of those? Like if I cut a rope and hold on to it, I'll go up.
Roll.
It's always in the movies. There's always like 3 of them
lined up. Roll perception.
You ever seen a fly system in the back of a theater? There's always like 20 rails.
Roll perception. It's probably not perception.
Are you like plus
probably
5
investigation.
stagecraft?
Is it a D6 bardic inspiration?
It's a D6, yeah. She's just a baby bard.
14.
Okay, you think maybe you can grab onto one and try to cut another line, and you're at maybe 50-50 that it might do something.
All right, I'll put my bow up, and I'll take out my short sword, grab on a rope, say, yep.
You grab a line, that's your best bet. You cut the other thing, and a bunch of rope is now falling towards you, not off to the side where you cut that rope now, like it was definitely like strung to something up there, but now the other side of it is now like running down, falling down, which is a pretty heavy amount of rope, but it's landing behind you, and the rope you're holding on to just stays right there.
I'm just like holding it, and it's like nothing's happening.
You don't further looking around. That gives you a little bit more information that you don't think there's another like escape line like that.
Aw. All right, that's my turn.
All right, it's other things down in the water's turn, and there's nothing down there with them. So what you'll see emerging from the corner of the water out from under the sail are two more. It's not Creve, but two more shark creatures. Sharks with legs and arms.
Gorgeous.
Sindle's turn. Sindel will turn around to those creatures and see if she can smack them with her quarterstaff. She misses once, and she absolutely nails the other one hard in the head, and it like stumbles backwards into the water. The other one she misses, and she's engaged with those shark creatures. It's Tiberon's turn.
Great.
Stinking cloud.
Yeah, gotta roll for Stinking Cloud.
One of them just shot you with a crossbow. One of them is in very, very bad condition and very sick. And yes, roll your save for stinkage.
Okay, 20. So,
Jeez, yeah, you're good.
Nothing. It smells better. It smells like roses. You can handle this all
I got
day.
used to it.
What do you want to do with your turn?
So the guy in front of me is still not dead, right?
Correct.
right.
Very sick, though.
Let's finish the job.
All right. So roll your first attack. See how that goes.
14.
Hit.
That is 7.
Yep. So that's a hit. It looks very, very, very bad.
Okay, let's go with the second attack. 20 again.
Oh, so 22 attack. Also a hit, obviously.
Yep.
And I don't care what you roll. That's going to take that dude out. And
Okay, well, I punch him in the head and his head explodes. Can that happen?
There's going to be some great art for that. Daily, add that to your list, Chris.
Sure. That's what happens.
Great.
That's how it's taken out. Probably not technically an explosion based on the sheer force of your fist.
Oh, and when that
but
happens,
he
I
won't
go,
be getting up.
mind your head.
All right. You have one more attack if you want to turn
I
to the
do.
other guy.
Now I turn around and look at the other guy square in the eyes.
He looks intimidated.
Great. Let's attack him. It's a 12.
Miss.
Ah.
Maya's turn.
So, bonus action. I'm going to go ahead and give Tiberon a bardic inspiration as well. So that's a d6 for you, dude bro. And then I'm going to go ahead and Eldritch Blast the same dude that Sindel hit, please. Kindly. Thank you. 2
Okay.
beams.
2 beams. Roll them.
26 to hit. And then a 14 to hit.
Hit and miss.
7 damage.
So he takes that beam of force damage straight in the chest. It's his first damage, and we move on to Soot.
Well, I am going to point my finger at the one that is still up with the crossbow inside of the stinking cloud. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to cast Chill Touch. This ghostly hand comes out and comes over and grabs onto him. Oh, is he within 5 feet of him? Did he attack him already?
Yes.
So I get Pack Tactics, which means I roll with advantage.
Do it.
Woo! 15?
Hit.
Yes. So the hand goes out. Takes 6 damage, and it clings to the target.
Ew. All right, so he's got a ghostly spectral hand clenching onto him.
Yup.
Nice.
That's it.
It's his turn. Is that something he can attack? Can he do anything about that?
I don't think so. If you hit undead
right,
target,
well, he won't.
He just
He
has a
doesn't like
hand
it.
on him now.
Yep, he's got
I guess.
a hand on it. Not a friendly hand. Just
Mean
a hand.
hand.
All right, so he's going to pull out some scimitars, and he is going to strike back at Tiberon
Did he roll?
with...
He's still in the stinking cloud, isn't he?
He's in the
He's
stink.
still in the stinking cloud, everybody. Let's see first how much it stinked. It stinks a lot. Never mind about the score. As he goes for...
So those
He
attacks
is
were all in
now,
his head.
to quote the text, retching. I guess that's the end of his turn. It's Gravely's turn.
How far up is the rope?
The rope that you're holding onto?
Well,
The platform that Bashir disappeared into is about 30 feet of climbing up there. And there are ropes that go not directly to that platform, but kind of near it. It's not a super climbable wall. Gravely can definitely climb ropes, but you'd get to a point that was maybe 8 feet from where you'd need to be to check out that platform.
all right. I cast jump on myself. And I take a step back, and I jump up 15 and a half feet. Grab onto the rope.
Okay.
And then use my movement to climb the rest of the way.
Okay. The most efficient use of the spell jump would probably be to climb up to close to where you are and then jump pretty far from the rope over to the platform.
Okay, I'll do that.
So you'd scramble up the rope and then like super far jumps across onto the platform.
Yeah, because if it's more horizontal, then it's like 30 feet.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to make it. He makes it. He's up on the platform, and you can see a tunnel that goes off from the platform. You don't hear any sounds. Well, you probably do hear because it's a tunnel, but you can tell he's pretty far away.
If I have any other movement, I'll pull my bow out and start running after him.
After Bashir? Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, it's the sharks with legs. They are going to attempt to attack Sindel. One hits, one does not. So the one that hits attempts to bite her, and it bites her arm for 8 damage. And then it's actually multi-attack, so that'll miss. It tries to claw her also, but she misses. The other one's going to make its attacks. It crits, and it crits on its bite.
Ouch.
It's going to do 12 damage of biting, so she gets bit twice by these things on either arm. That's her only damage. So now she's struggling with 2 sharks attached to either arm. She still looks pretty strong and very angry, and it's her turn.
Burn it all.
So she casts down at the ground at her feet a fireball.
Oh, gosh.
Sure.
This makes some
Of course she does.
dexterity saves. They rolled
I'm a strong, independent woman.
a crit and a 1 was
Don't
their
need no
2
man.
saves. Let's hear it for crits and 1s. So one of them's going to take a lot of fireball damage.
Ugh.
And one of them's going to take probably still relatively a lot of fireball damage.
Fireball.
She's also going to take some fireball damage, but as you might guess, just pretty resistant.
I'm not in range of this, am I?
No, you guys are just out of it. Actually, you're not all out of the range, but actually, like, she casts this fireball at her feet and it blasts out, and like she seems to have a fair bit of amount of control over it. Like the radius that shoots out is not entirely circular. It's a little bit lopsided, so it doesn't cover any of you. It fully hits her. She's in the midst of the fire, but doesn't seem to take too much damage from it. One of these things is completely incinerated, and the other is pretty darn still burnt. In fact, yep. So the other thing is not like completely ashed, but it also is not going to bother you anymore. It like it's smoking and burnt, and it falls back into the water.
The flag? Is it on top of the flag now?
It probably would be. It probably would have like fallen back, so now it's like laying on top of the sail, close to the edge, so it's kind of in a puddle. But the way like water will settle on top of like a pool cover, that's kind of what it's like laying in. So it looks very excited. And the other one's completely gone, and that's Sindel's turn. So we're back to Tiberon.
All right. Well, let's get this guy.
So at the start of your turn,
Oh, that's right.
How long does
Can you not undo that? Is it just there?
it's a minute.
That's a lot of stinking. Even if there was not a battle going on, that's a lot of stinking for this small area.
Well, they were just staying inside of it. It's not my fault.
Oh, no. 9.
Tiberon.
You have your bardic inspiration.
Retching. You
Oh.
can
You'd
add
have
a
to get it up to
d6 to that
15.
roll. Yeah, it would have to be a perfect
Well,
roll of
he could
6
get a
if you want to
6.
try.
You never
Or you could
know.
just throw up for a turn.
Well, let's give it
6
the old
seconds of
college
rushing-
try,
rushing.
shall we?
Come on.
5.
Okay, so I'd like to take a second now to do 2 things. Number 1, I really want to take a moment to give a huge shout out to the School for Creative Careers.
Woo! We're in it.
So the School for Creative Careers is this studio. They're a nonprofit, and they allow us to record here in their studio absolutely free. Now, the second thing here, this place is huge. There's 3 other studios here, a mastering lab, a television production studio, a working live performance stage. There are 2 hallways of over 100 guitars and amps used by famous stars like Eric Clapton, Eddie Van Halen, Pink Floyd, Foo Fighters.
And Tay-Tay.
And Tay-Tay, Taylor Swift. They also have one of the largest collections of microphones in the world. You've got microphones that were used by Paul McCartney, Michael Jackson, Stevie Nicks, Beyonce, Frank Sinatra.
And Tay-Tay.
I don't know if we have one by Tay-Tay. But they also have the original mixing board that was custom built in the 70s in England for the Phantom of the Opera.
The Phantom of the Opera.
They also have one of the largest production mixers ever built for Broadway. There's also a bunch of other stuff that's cool.
Creepy mannequins in the hallway.
There are creepy mannequins in the hallway.
I swear they keep moving every time I look in the hallway.
That's true, but those mannequins are actually, they're getting ready because they're going to start doing tours.
The mannequins?
What? Oh, that's not good. No, make that stop.
It's a nightmare.
No, the studio is going to do tours.
Are they on like a little moving track and they're like, hello, I'm David Bowie.
The mannequins only move when you aren't looking at.
Sure.
It's part of the magic.
So this summer, for the first time ever, they're letting people come in. They get to wear interactive wireless headsets, and as you walk around, you get to hear the voices of stars telling you their stories. What's cool, too, is in partnership with School for Creative Careers and the More Art Studio, they're actually letting us give away 100 tours to our listeners for free this spring before it opens this summer. So if you're one of the first 100 people to sign up on the website at morearts.org, you can enter in the code knightsoftherolledtable, and you'll be entered in to possibly get a free tour here in San Diego.
So the tour might go something like, I am Keith Richards. Then you can see how many cigarettes I burned on the front of my guitar.
Yes, exactly like that, but better.
Yeah.
How is that spelled?
So it's spelled a little odd because it's the Museum of Recording Arts. So it's MORARTS.org.
MORARTS.org?
Yes, that's exactly what I just said. Hopefully we get to see you there. Again, big thank you to Steve and the studio and the School for Creative Careers letting us be here, and go check out morearts.org.
Steve.
Thank you.
Stevie Nicks.
Yeah.
No. Tiberon is overwhelmed.
Finally got to me.
He is retching. Maya's turn.
Can I barf on his shoes?
Yes.
Great.
It really does some serious damage.
So there's
just this one guy that's in front of Tiberon is the only threat in the room. He looks very nervous. Maybe willing to parlay.
willing to parlay. Okay, then I'm gonna go ahead and say, you have the opportunity to surrender now and walk out of here with your life.
Okay, I surrender. I'm walking.
He surrenders.
I can swim. I'll swim.
No, you stay right here. Hang on,
Nope.
we have some.
You said
questions.
walk out of the way with my life. I'm gonna take my life and go.
Eventually, this is stop.
Stopping.
Okay, sit down. Does anybody have some rope? Let's tie him up.
I'm not there.
I imagine that he walked out of the stinking cloud.
Yeah, can we
He's not
leave
just
the
still
stinking cloud,
He's not
please?
just still talking in the stinking cloud.
I mean, she told him to sit. I think he was he retching last turn?
Every
I think
6
he was.
seconds, he'll have to make a Constitution saving throw if he's in there.
He's
for a
currently,
minute.
so he's like surrendering through his retching at the moment. He would like to leave the stinking cloud.
I'm gonna drop the stinking cloud.
Yay!
Okay, if I'm gonna look for some, I'm gonna grab some rope from like the probably the
There's
pile
plenty
that
of rope
Gravely
around.
has dropped, and
All
I'm
right.
gonna tie his hands behind his back.
You just remember, I can bring that back at any moment.
All right, he allows you to time up.
All right, what is your name?
Didn't really think you'd be talking to these guys.
It's us.
Down
We
some.
talk to everyone.
His name is Merkins. Merkins.
Merkins. All right, Merkins. And what is your favorite color?
Rose, maybe.
Okay, all right.
Is that
I like
relevant?
this guy. All right, we are looking for the treasure. Where do we find it?
our treasure, or like
Yes, your treasure.
Specific. I assume it's back there, but I can't get in.
And up there where your friends went.
Specifically behind, in the midst of. What's the lighting situation currently? You put all the lights out. Fairy fire is probably only lighting up the table and Merkins at the moment.
Can I just light a torch?
If we're quiet, then I can use my prestidigitation to put the lights back on.
All right, so you light things up, and then you're able to see, he kind of gestures to back there. There's a door. So the back of this cavern is a flat wall. It doesn't look very natural against the rest of the geography of the cave. It's a flat wall with a door in it.
And is there anyone else here in this cave?
But there's you, and
I mean, from
like
your group.
No.
And what is the fastest way to get up there where your friend went?
Well, he went pretty fast. You mean Bashir?
Yes. What is the best way for? Is there another way for us to get up there?
I don't think I couldn't follow him up there. I don't know. I'm impressed your little friend did, but I couldn't go that way. We got to swim.
Is Gravelly still up there, or were you running through the platform and still going?
Yeah, he's up there. Coming out of initiative, we'll probably follow Gravely for a second. So if you run after Bashir.
I'm running and jumping, so I'm running for my movement 25 feet.
And jumping really far.
And I'm jumping 30 feet.
So what you find as you kind of run through a very twists and turns of a cavern is there's a couple places where it branches.
But I have advantage on wisdom checks to track my favorite enemy.
Ooh, that's what he is. So you can kind of hear him again, pretty darn far off, but he is the sound of him is echoing, so you're not really able to. Well, go ahead and roll a wisdom check with advantage to try to track him.
I'll come to a branch. 16.
So you could you figure there's about a 60% chance that he's down the tunnel that you think he might be down.
All right, I'll go that way. I go to the right.
I just made up that number. I guess now I'll roll a percentage die to find out if you were right. All right. So you continue running down that way, and you're pretty sure you are right. You can hear the noise going, and then the noise abruptly stops. And you run up. You come to another branch of several.
Can I make another check?
Yeah.
23.
So you are not hearing anything. You don't see any signs of him passing. He is also a ranger, so he's fairly good at you're good at pursuing him, and he's also very good at not being pursued. So,
question: was he in the stinking cloud? Am I able to smell?
No, he was clear of it.
All right. Okay. Well.
Okay, so you run down one of the paths for a little while, and you do not see him. You also, again, from being a ranger chasing another ranger, suspect that he went into stealth mode. Maybe he cast Pass Without Trace or did something else to mask his steps. Because he literally would like to pass without a trace right now.
Ooh.
You're also now very far away from your friends, all by yourself in a strange cavern with multiple tunnels.
Bashir, I know you're in here somewhere. You can't hide forever. Bye.
I go back. I'll walk back. I'll look for any along the way. I'll look for any signs of treasure or things that might have been dropped or something like that. Just might as well.
Nothing up there. This very much seems like it's an intentional escape route through tunnels that already existed up there, which is why they're so windy. It's not just one straight line that was dug out. So he must know it pretty well. You don't see any treasure. You do see, now you're going a little bit slower looking around, you see occasional signs of where he would have passed that way, but nothing much of value as you make your way back and you emerge up on that ledge.
Yeah.
And you see that your friends have subdued Merkins.
All right, I'll jump/climb down.
He scrambles down.
Oh, Gravely, I'm so glad you are okay. This is Merkins. His favorite color is kind of like a rose
He
gold.
got away.
Rose, yeah.
Oh, no. Well, he says it was through that door.
It was Bashir. Remember the drow that we saw back at the Dreadex office?
Ah, yes, we know him well.
That guy. Oh,
I don't like him.
He seems the worst.
he was to me.
Are we really going to trust what this Merkins guy's telling us?
Well, I mean,
The treasure's over there. I mean, it's
what's he gonna do?
It's
Lie?
behind the big metal door. So
He could be lying.
Do you have any keys, Merkins?
no, we're not allowed. Only the captain's allowed in the treasure room.
Is it locked?
Well, yeah. There's poison darts. Look out for he points to like some holes in the wall. Look out for the traps right there.
Right.
Can I leave now? I also like my favorite fish is sardines, and I like sparrows.
Sparrows are lovely. How do you feel about squirrels?
I love squirrels. Squirrels
Me
are the best.
too.
They're so fuzzy.
I'll
and
try
cute.
to.
I wish
I'll
I
try
could
to
have
disable the traps.
Maya just sits and starts talking to him for like 5 minutes.
I'll try and help you, Gravely, because I'm proficient in investigation.
roll thieves' tools
Sleight
stuff
of hand?
with yeah. Do you already have proficiency with that?
I do. Well, no, I don't.
So the thieves' tools will give you proficiency. It's actually like its own skill, thieves' tools, that you have proficiency in. And then you can take advantage because Soot is like spotting for you and pointing things out.
I will also roll my bardic inspiration. 19. I rolled
right.
a 6 on the inspiration.
So with your 19 roll, I'll give you, since the traps are already pointed out, you're pretty easily able to disable those and avoid them. And you're also able to pick the locks, which are fairly simple, and pull open this big...
And that is
So
how I
give me a
had.
hand.
Oh, my pact with Titania.
I can try.
Just come on.
A giant squirrel? Did it look good?
I mean, I thought it looked good, but the squares were upset. It was important.
Tiberon, check it out.
I walk over to the door.
All right, so inside that door, you see a chest just sitting there, looking all treasure chesty, right in the middle.
I turn around
this
and peek my head out the door.
Chamber,
I don't like it.
This chamber is specifically square-shaped, like the ceiling is pretty low and also flat. It's definitely not the natural cavern. It looks like it's made of timbers.
Doesn't that seem like not a lot of treasure?
No, it doesn't.
This has trap written all over it. I don't trust this door, but we could try.
Yeah, let's stand outside the door. Let me try something. And I will try and use Mage Hand to just see if I can just open up the chest.
Open the treasure chest?
But while standing outside that door that they just opened.
All right, so all of you clear out of the vault, the treasure room, and she mage hands the treasure chest, and big spikes fall out of the ceiling and just smash down right around everybody.
Well, that
Crushing
was...
the chest.
Actually, the chest, so the mage hand, like, pretty easily, like, just tries the lock, and the lid of the chest flips up, and there's just, like, gears and levers and things in there, and that's definitely what triggers these spikes to slam down and then, like, retract up into the ceiling, which has holes in it for the spikes.
I think it is a trap.
Is Merkin still here?
Merkins is still there, yes. He's never been in there. He's very curious. Oh, that was cool.
Great. I go up.
Glad
to
I never
Merkins,
tried that.
And I take out my short sword, and I'm like, "We can leave you alive, but you don't need all your fingers."
I do. I really like my fingers.
Then talk.
Okay. I also enjoy sea shanties.
No, don't talk about that.
No, where's the real treasure?
Oh, I'm pretty sure it's in there. Captain goes in there with magic items and golds, and he comes right out without them. So
It's got to be somewhere then.
Well, maybe it's maybe there's a secret entrance or something.
Maya will go inside the room, careful not to touch the chest, and she's gonna just see if she can see anything along the walls.
Yeah, so you can see behind the chest. It's covered with planks, but you can get close enough and not touch anything and see that there's like a pool of water.
I see some water over here. Perhaps it is like before, and it goes down further.
Another thing of water? What's wrong with this?
Is it like pool size like the other one?
It's pretty small. It's about a 5-foot radius, and it's dark down there.
Let's go.
You don't see any light coming out of it like you did before.
I'm going to cast Mage Armor on myself.
Okay. Somebody roll some investigating or something.
I'll do it.
I would love to help with investigation.
Help her with the investigation.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's an 11.
And you get a roll with advantage.
That's a 15.
Good job, Maya.
Thank you for your help.
You're pretty sure, just comparing this with the other passage, that you don't think it's a passage to another chamber. You think it's just like maybe, it looks to be about 10 feet deep maybe, and scoop back a little bit into maybe like a small chamber, definitely like big enough to store some stuff, but you don't think it's very big. It's also like the way this is dug out, it doesn't seem like the same sort of like natural cave where it would be filled with the tide. It's just its own like dugout.
I'll go in.
Hey, Tiberon, why don't you go since you have the bag?
I want to see what's down there. Came all this way.
All right, so I'm just going to cut to the chase here. We're going to play a game called Dibs. Because whoever swims down there is going to find a fair number of magic items, and the pirates have a way of divvying up who gets what loot. And so whoever dives in is going to be able to kind of like go down, grab maybe 2 things. And what I've got is I've got 10 cards. And they each have on them like a very rough sketch and a description of what you would see from some sort of like a magic item. We're going to bring up 2 at a time. And if anybody wants to call dibs on either of those items, you don't know what they do magically, then you can call dibs, and that becomes your one item that you get from this haul. Once you've dibs an item, it is yours.
A dibs is a dibs is a dibs.
All right. I'll cover the top one. And I'm going to go to, Maya dives down to bring a couple of things. Grab 2 of these, not the top one, and only look at what's on the top. All right, what have you got there?
A small toy piano with a turnkey on the side and a thin, empty quiver. I'm calling dibs on that piano.
Maya dibs is the little piano. Does anybody dibs the thin, empty quiver?
She brings it back up?
Yeah, she comes up with those 2
I'll
items.
take
Very
the
well
quiver
drawn.
because I use quivers.
Okay, Gravely.
See what it might do.
All right, so first let's have Maya turn that card over and read it if you can. And if the penmanship is bad, I will read it for you.
When the key is cranked, this item expands rapidly into a full-sized grand piano. Oh my God, I'm so happy right now. 6 seconds after cranking it, it expands and remains large. 5 minutes for every crank. 1 hour max with
recranking.
Recranking.
So every time
That's
you
not a
crank it, it's
word.
going to expand for 5 minutes. It only cranks like whatever, 12 times
So
or
I
whatever.
can choose how long I'm gonna.
So you could crank it up and it would respond it would be full size for an hour, but you could also crank it more and keep it
I am going
full
to
size.
learn how to play the piano.
So further in the pirate code, Tiberon, you get to dibs 1 item, and then just whatever is left over after everybody gets one will become the captain's share. Those 2 are dibs. Gravely, you want to read your quiver?
Yeah, I'll try. It says quiver of elemental ammo. Ammo?
Ammo.
The wearer can reach into this quiver and pull out an arrow /bolt /javelin made of fire, ice, or lightning. Only 1 item can exist at a time. The item can be used to start fires, freeze things, or electrocute.
If it's a lightning thing, it can electrocute things.
Yeah, that's cool.
So they do elemental damage, but you could also use them to try to like create some sort of effect.
That's sick.
All right.
Magic arrows.
Who else wants to dive down there and get some more stuff?
I'll dive down.
All right.
I've got a broom, and a small box with a glass bead in it.
Does anyone call dibs?
What was it? A broom?
A broom and a small box with a glass bead.
Glass bead.
So if
can I use my identify?
Nope, you just can't. Part of the game. You'd have to dibs first. You can, if nobody dibs that, you have the option of you continue to have the option of dibsing something.
So you can go back to something that's undibsed.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I think that broom. Is that broom gonna make me fly? No, I'm gonna take the glass bead.
Oh, give the kobold the bead. Flip that bad boy over and read it.
It's a bead. No.
Oh, no.
When this item is exposed to water, it expands into a bubble that can fit a head and allow the wearer to breathe. Oh, that's good. That's actually great for him. He hates the water.
So you can breathe and you can also see underwater with it more clearly.
Very, very cool.
All right, so only Tiberon is not dibs. Do you want to draw two more?
Dive
Tiberon?
in.
All right. So what do you see there?
I've got a trident and a sturdy pair of leather gloves. You said I could keep diving and just look at all the items before I choose, or
as the only one left? Yeah, actually.
Well, I haven't divin yet.
Ah, it's true. Wait, no, you dibs. You got. You haven't divin. It doesn't matter really who dives.
You haven't divin.
Didn't you dibs the bead?
Yeah,
he dibs, but he did not dib.
It doesn't really matter who goes to get them.
It's not who dives, it's who divs.
So Tiberon's the last person, so you can go ahead and
I'm just going to come out with a whole
make a couple of trips. You also see a pinwheel, ?
Ooh.
A fine-looking brown leather belt with a gold buckle.
Okay.
A 6-ounce metal flask with a cork and a blank label.
Mm-hmm.
And a half helmet that covers eyes and nose.
Where's Sarsa when you need her with that flask?
This trident looks pretty nice, but I'm really thinking about this pinwheel. Something about this pinwheel's.
I just want to know what it does.
Yeah, you know what? Let's find out what that pinwheel does.
All right, have a look at the pinwheel.
I love that you probably just bypassed something super useful.
Wand of random attack.
The fighter. I want that pinwheel.
Roll a spell attack and a d6. Do I read what each one does?
Yeah.
Number 1 enlarges with a success. Number 2 is a gust of wind. Number 3 is ray of sickness. Number 4 is ice knife. For 5, it's Melf's acid arrow. Yep. And 6 is fireball. 3 charges a day. You're a wizard, Harry.
So I would say for Tiberon, who doesn't really have a spell attack, we could just consider it to work off basic wizard type knowledge, which would just be your spell attack is a d20 plus your intelligence.
Okay.
And you don't have proficiency because you're not an actual wizard, and that would be, or you could give it to a wizard or trade it to a wizard or whatever. The other items.
Oh, no, you're going to tell us what they are?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you because the rest all go in Captain Honeymist's bag of holding, where she will eventually identify the trident of Fish Command. Save DC of 15. It can cast Dominate Beast on something with a swim speed. It has 3 charges, and it gains 3 charges a day.
I could have commanded the shark man.
Been Aquaman.
I think that's from the player's guide. The sturdy pair of leather gloves are the cursed gloves of the older brother.
Oh, no.
1 time per long rest, use this item to gain advantage on a melee attack. If either d20 you roll is a 1 or a 2, instead of the attack, you punch yourself in the face for 1 damage. Stop hitting yourself.
That's
it says
hilarious.
In quotes.
Oh my god.
The half helmet that covers eyes and nose. 1 time per day, this helmet will protect against a critical hit. Safety! ! Also, you establish a telepathic connection to communicate with whoever you stare intensely at through the weird eyepiece.
That's creepy.
The 6-ounce metal flask. This flask will pour out an unending amount of whatever liquid is on the label. If blank, it pours drinkable water, pours 1 ounce per second.
See, that's useful.
A fine-looking brown leather belt with gold buckle. the Cursed Belt of Pantsing. One time per long rest, you may use this item to gain advantage on a d20 roll. If either d20 is a 1 or a 2, the belt comes undone and your pants drop down around your feet. One action to pull up pants. If you are pantsed, it's the same as being prone. And finally, a broom. This lovely broom can be set to manually tidy up a room in a cheery manner. Also, it flies. Cast fly on itself.
I knew it.
One time per long rest.
I knew it.
Could have had the broom.
That's okay. This is actually better for him.
So that's the claim. Yeah, those are pretty good draws.
Elemental and never-ending.
Yeah.
So you also recover a bunch of gold down there. There's just like piles of gold. So you're basically, what you're able to do is each of you take as much gold as you can carry, which gold is pretty heavy. Let's do, I'm going to say for each point of strength, take 5 gold.
Okay.
So just take your strength, not the modifier, but your strength number, and multiply that by 5, and that's how much gold you can add to your inventory. The rest will be shoveled into Captain Guinevere's bag.
90 gold.
95.
60. No, 30.
95, you're stronger than Tiberon?
Wait, are we doing the actual strength score?
Yeah.
Yeah, mine's a 9 times. Oh no, 45.
45, there you go. Significantly less.
You know, I was an English lit major because
Maya's just hiding those guns.
Does Sindel get any magic things? Because she was with us.
That's who it was. Sindel, who waited outside with Merkins, keep him company and keep an eye on it. She is going to dibs
The broom.
So all of you get to choose first and then come on out to her. She's like, what are you doing in there? Nothing. What would Sindel pick?
It's got to be the broom.
I don't know if brooms appeal
I don't know
to
though.
her.
Like, here, wait. Can I see what's left?
Is she a drinker?
I'll
Would
let
like
you
the
guys
flask?
decide. Yeah, I'm
she's
going to
not
give
a
it to Maya,
drinker.
Sindle's good friend. What would Sindel pick out of those
Sindel.
items?
So I have been looking at all of these options, and I think for you,
I can't decide. What do you think?
I think the broom, my dear. I know that we said that we would fight the patriarchy and that
What am I going to do with the
women-
broom? Oh, you know what? I'd never had to clean anything when you were
Exactly,
clean.
but
That's
I'm
actually
just
kind
saying
of cool.
that, not
It
only
could be like a symbol of like me being just like
Defying
a
the
regular person.
patriarchy.
All right, I'll take the broom. Dibs on the broom. And she reads the text of the broom. This lovely broom can be set to magically tide up a room in a cheery manner. Oh, that's great. Also, it flies. Huh. Okay. And she immediately activates it, and it starts like tidying up the cave.
You know,
like you do.
as you do.
Does it form little broom arms and like little broom feet? Like
No, it just works itself.
Pick up
It
some
for sure
buckets.
looks like it's swooping to some jaunty music, but you don't hear any. And so you are in this cave. You think you've recovered everything. You've got your friend Merkins. And in fact, Merkins is very willing to join the crew if you're recruiting.
What do you think,
Doesn't feel
Tiberon?
like Captain Dropoff's going to be super happy with him at this point.
Well, we can't just let him go back to the crew and tell
Come
him.
on,
You don't
Tiberon,
want
can
that.
we keep him, please?
You can keep me.
All right, he can come along if he can fit inside this bag of holding.
What? No.
I'm kidding you.
I can
That's
swim.
some pirate humor.
Oh,
but
that's a good one. Haha.
all right, come along.
All right, Merkin. Now let me tell you about more about Titania.
All right, so you do. You want to call the captain's...
Yeah, let's activate the beeper.
We don't want to try and find.
He's gone.
He's long gone.
Sure.
You were up in that cave for a while.
It branches off into several places. There's no. He's as stealthy as I am. I don't think we're going to find him.
Would this Bashir fella likely be telling Captain Dropoff about a certain group of people?
I'm certain he would.
All right, then let's get out of here as soon as we can.
So you activate the bracelet and here, Captain Honeymus.
Hi! How's it going?
Great, Captain. Great. We have everything. We've got a bunch of cool things for you, like a belt and some gloves.
I know they're cursed. They're in me bag.
You can pull up the ship right into the cave. We'll open up the vines for you.
I'm not sure we can do that. There's that reef to worry about.
Fair enough. We'll be to you lickety split.
All right, so you make your way back through. You got to swim. Soot gets to try out his cool bubble.
Mm-hmm. Do we find Antonio?
Antonio was destroyed in the thunderstep, but would have been destroyed by your shark friends. So
R.I.P.
That's okay. There is a shark body.
Oh, yes. Okay, so Soot is going to, hey, Tiberon, could you drag that body next to the shark body?
What body? Oh, the bandit?
Uh-huh.
What exactly are you doing here?
It's like a weird...
It's better if you don't ask questions.
Puppet show.
All right, I'm doing this once, and I'll do what he told me to do.
Okay, so I'm going to cast one use of Animate Undead. And
double it up.
I can double it up.
Best not to think about it.
It's not that big of a deal. They're already gone. So we have our shark friend here, and we have our bandit friend here. Maya, would you like to name them?
Oh, I would love to. All right, so the bandit.
Can I name one?
Oh, of course, Gravely.
I want to get in on the action.
You go first, Gravely.
Well, I'll name the bandit Violet.
Violet?
It's my favorite flower.
Oh, it's lovely, Gravely.
That's very nice. Violet?
I will name the shark person Pablo, after my favorite poet.
Pablo. Violet and Pablo. I just love these names. This is so great. So Violet is our bandit, and our shark is named Pablo. Pablo the shark. That's just fantastic.
Next time, Tiberon, you can name one.
Yeah, I don't. That seems unseemly.
You know, that's what I thought, and then it kind of catchy after a while.
How does Merkins feel about watching his friend come back to life?
Roll the Constitution.
He definitely does the swallowing down the retching again, but he's not gonna give any complaints at this point. So you all make your way back out to the rowboat and out to the. There's a lot of you in there, but eventually you're able to make your way back.
Maya just kind of is playing with her little toy piano, just like she won't crank it, but she wants
Please
to
don't crank
so
it on the
bad. She's just like holding it like.
Can you imagine?
Just as you're coming out from under the net, you see the bastion approaching the little harbor where this cave is. And you row your way out there and make your way easily to the ship. And they begin, so you climb like a ladder up onto the ship while they make arrangements to pull up the rowboat. And Captain Honeymist is there at the top waiting for you. And I think probably Tiberon goes first and hands up the bag of holding.
Captain, we've got your booty right here.
Aye. So, what'd you get? Did you get a slinky or like a toy poodle? They have something fun for you. What'd you pick out?
Nay. Well, we got a tiny piano, a broom.
It is perfect.
A pinwheel of sorts.
Right, and you always took the little toy. Did you take the pinwheel?
The pinwheel's very colorful, Captain.
All right. You didn't want this, and she reaches into the bag and she pulls out the trident of Fish Command. Did you want the trident of Fish Command, or you're happy with your little pinwheel?
I didn't see it.
All right. If you'd like, I owe you a favor, and I can trade you the trident of Fish Command, since you don't know any magic, or you can keep the pinwheel.
All right, 'tis fair. 'Tis a fair trade.
All right, you enjoy. And he's going to give back the pinwheel because he doesn't really have much spellcasting ability. And as a fighter, you'd have to give up your 2 attacks to cast potentially.
Right, fair enough.
1 spell.
Hey, Maya, which one was Violet and which one was Pablo?
Pablo is the shark and Violet is the bandit.
Oh, okay, so Oh, I see it now. Okay, thank you so much, Maya. That's very, very helpful.
Oh, you're welcome.
I wouldn't want to send Pop. You get it.
Yes,
I wouldn't want to send them
identity
indifferently.
is very important.
So as Soot is climbing up ahead of Violet and Pablo, Captain Honeymist stops him and says, I was polite about this yesterday when you brought a dead thing on my ship, but those were pirates, living pirates about an hour ago, and you're not bringing those aboard this ship.
Well, why not? What's the problem you have with them?
Respect. They deserve a burial at sea, just as any member of my crew would.
Well, that's nice and all. I figured you guys would be more accepting of other people's hobbies and things, but, that's... Well, I guess I can always make more.
Call it a hobby if you like, but they're not coming aboard.
So it might be best to leave them be.
Well, they're kind of the only things protecting me out here. You can see how small I am.
We'll protect you. You hired us, so we'll protect you.
Soot gives a very hard glare to Captain Honeymist in a way that is... can I roll an insight check on Captain Honeymist?
Sure.
I want to kind of gauge if she is actually, like, concerned for the pirates or if she is trying to isolate.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
13.
13. Yeah, best you can determine, she is being genuine. She's being a little bit intimidating in the way she's saying it, but like you generally believe her intent is out of respect and not a threat to you specifically.
Man, Maya's gonna be so sad to lose Violet and Pablo. She might be more upset with you than I will be. Like I said, I can always make more. And I'm just gonna click my hands and they're both gonna fall flat on the little skip boat that's out there.
So they're hoisting that up at the moment, kind of pulling it aside and hoisting it up next to you so that they'll just fall into the ocean.
Oh, okay, so they kind of fall out.
You, and they begin to sink.
Goodbye, Pablo. Goodbye, Violet. Sleep well.
Told you you'd break her heart. There, you happy?
Thank you.
Consider it a measure of trust.
Appreciated.
Captain, is there somewhere that I can fit a grand piano? I need to practice.
I would greatly prefer that you not manifest a grand piano on top of a floating vessel. It would create a fair amount of ballast. Might cause some problems with the balance of the ship.
That is unfortunate, but I respect your authority.
So many rules.
Hey, Tiberon, do you guys have any vegetables on board?
We keep a fair amount of fruit. We got some oranges, some mandarins, some grapefruit. I think there's a couple of limes behind those.
Oh, grapefruit sounds good. Can I have one of those?
All right, follow me.
Yes, this one looks good.
Yeah, let me polish it off for you.
Okay.
You're gonna eat the outside of it?
That's very kind of you. I don't need the outside to be shiny, but it's a very nice looking.
Here, let me...
that's okay.
All right, just...
I mean, it's
nice and shiny for you.
That's great. Thank you so much, Tiberon. Tiberon, do you like being a pirate?
I enjoy it a fair bit. It allows me to contribute in a way that's helpful.
Do you ever wish for more than pirate life, like, walking around the land and getting adventures and stuff?
I never did particularly well on land. I would love my own ship one day, but...
Oh, that's a good dream.
Aye, 'tis. I would call my ship the Candy Cane.
Oh, how grand and majestic.
Aye, peppermint colors on the sails.
Oh, you're going with the whole theme then?
Yes, edible banisters, the whole lot.
Edible banisters?
Aye. They'd be lacquered, but edible.
I've tried to tell you, your crew would eat the ship. It's just not practical. You can have candy on board. You can't have an edible ship.
What if it was something
that dissolves in the water?
The hull would not be made of candy cane.
All right.
Or you could have something where it regrows, like regenerates. It grows things, you pick them off, and then it, keeps growing.
What sort of monstrous thing are you speaking of?
A tree?
That's entirely possible.
A candy cane tree?
Sure. I don't know if one exists, but if I ever see one, I'll let you know. I've seen some weird things in my time.
Have you?
Ship off the larboard side!
And everybody looks up, and roughly the bastion is at anchor, but they're pulling up the anchor. Everybody's making preparations to pull out. But ahead of you, coming around a corner of this harbor, you first see the very, very top mast, like the crow's nest in the top of the sails of a ship coming around. And that ship is just cresting. You can see it as everybody looks up. You can see the front of the Trident appear, coming around the side, and it is coming at full speed while the bastion is, one, pointed at it, and also at a full stop, getting ready to pull up anchor and head out. So it's coming very, very fast, but it's still probably 500 or 600 feet out. It's pretty far. Gravely would recognize it as kind of like the very, very extent of even longbow range, which makes it very surprising when a bolt fires towards Maya. And would you say you're holding Mr. Stick? Where's Mr. Stick at?
Mr. Stick is, I think, probably like on her back, like slung.
So, which makes it surprising when a bolt fires out at Maya, and Maya, you feel Mr. Stick just flip forward up over your head all on its own and land right in front of you and just narrowly block a crossbow bolt that goes just like right in between, would go like right in between your eyes, but Mr. Stick like lands right in front of you, and it pierces the stick and like splits it in half, but it stops the bolt. And you can hear there's like a sudden moment. You get kind of a, because it's right in front of your nose, you have like a, also makes your eyes water a little bit of like a noxious poisonous, there's something on this bolt. But it did stop it. But then another one shoots out immediately after it, and it does 56 damage between poison and piercing.
Oh, no.
Guys, I'm out.
What?